남규태방송 시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까. 오늘은 2023년 6월 12일 월요일입니다. 현재 시간은 오전 7시 11분입니다. 성경공부 552회 방송을 시작하겠습니다. 성경은 스바냐 1장부터 영문으로 읽어보겠습니다. The word of the Lord that came to ZEPHANIAH, son of Cushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, during the reign of Yoshia, son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will sweep away everything from the face of the earth, declares the Lord. I will sweep away everything from the face of the earth, declares the Lord. I will sweep away both men and the beast. I will sweep away the birds in the sky and the fish in the sea, and the idols that cause the wicked to stumble. When I destroy all mankind on the face of the earth, declares the Lord, I will stretch out my hand against Judah and against all who live in Jerusalem. I will destroy every remnant of Baal worship in this place. The very names of the idolatrous priests, those who bow down on the roofs to worship the starry host, those who bow down and swear by the Lord, and who also swear by Molech, those who turn back from following the Lord, and neither seek the Lord nor inquire of him. Be silent before the sovereign Lord, for the day of the Lord is near. The Lord has prepared the sacrifice. He has consecrated those he has invited. On the day of the Lord's sacrifice, I will punish the officials and the king's sons and all those clad in foreign clothes. On that day I will punish all who avoid stepping on the threshold, who fill the temple of their gods with violence and deceit. On that day, declares the Lord, a cry will go up from the fish gate, wailing from the new quarter, and a loud crash from the hills. Will you who live in the market district, or your merchant will be wiped out. All who trade with silver will be destroyed. At that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps and punish those who are complacent, who are like wine left on its dregs, who think the Lord will do nothing, either good or bad. Their wells will be plundered. Their houses demolished. Though they build houses, they will not live in them. Though they plant vineyards, they will not drink the wine. The great day of the Lord is near and coming quickly. The cry on the day of the Lord is bitter. The mighty warrior shouts his battle cry. The day will be a day of loss, a day of distress and anguish, a day of trouble and ruin, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and blackness. A day of trumpet and battle cry with the fortified cities and against the corner towers. I will bring such distress on all people that they will grope about like those who are blind, because they have sinned against the Lord. Their blood will be poured out like dust, and their entrails like during. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to save them on the day of the Lord's wrath. In the fire of his jealousy, the whole earth will be consumed, for he will make a sudden end of all who live on the earth. Gather yourselves together, you shameful nation, before the decree takes effect, and that day passes like wind blown chaff. Before the Lord's fierce anger comes upon you, before the day of the Lord's wrath comes upon you. Seek the Lord, all you humble of the land, you who do what he commands. Seek righteousness, seek humility. Perhaps you will be sheltered on the day of the Lord's anger. Gaza will be abandoned, and Ashkelon left in ruins. At midday, Ashdod will be emptied, and Eglon uprooted. Woe to you who live by the sea, you Kerizzite people. The word of the Lord is against you, Canaan, land of the Philistines. He says, I will destroy you, and none will be left. The land by the sea will become pastures, having wells for shepherdess and pens for flocks. That land will belong to the remnant of the people of Judah. There they will find pasture. In the evening they will lie down in the houses of Ashkelon. The Lord their God will care for them. He will restore their fortunes. I have heard the insult of Moab and the taunts of the Ammonites who insulted my people, and made a treaty against their land. Therefore, as surely as I live, declares the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, surely Moab will become like Sodom, the Ammonites, like Gomorrah, a place of weeds and salt pits, wasteland forever. The remnant of my people will plunder them. The survivors of my nation will inherit it at their land. This is what they will get in return for their pride, for insulting and mocking the people of the Lord Almighty. The Lord will be awesome to them when He destroys all the gods of the earth. Distant nations will bow down to Him, all of them in their own lands. You Cushites will be slain by my sword. He will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, leaving Nineveh utterly desolate and dry as the desert. Bullocks and herders will be down there, creatures of every kind. The desert owl and the screechy owl will loose on her columns. Their hooting will echo through the windows. Rubble will fill the doorways. The beams of cedar will be exposed. This is the city of rebellion that arrived in safety. She said to herself, I am the one, and there is none besides me. What a ruin! She has become a lair for wild beasts. All who pass by her scoff and shake their fists. Woe to the city of oppressors, rebellious and defiled. She obeys no one. She accepts no correction. She does not trust in the Lord. She does not draw near to her God. He officials within her roaring lions. Her rulers are evening bulbs who leave nothing for the morning. Her prophets are unprincipled. They are treacherous people. Her priests profane the sanctuary and do violence to the law. The Lord within her is righteous. He does no wrong. Morning by morning he dispenses his justice, and every new day he does not fail. Yet the unrighteous know no shame. I have destroyed the nations, their strongholds are demolished. I have left the streets deserted with no one passing through. The cities are laid waste, they are deserted and empty. Of Jerusalem, I thought, surely you will fear me and accept correction. Then her place of refuge would not be destroyed, nor my punishments come upon her, but they will still eager to act colloquially in all they did. Therefore, wait for me, declares the Lord, for they I will stand up to testify. I have decided to assemble the nations together the kingdoms and to pour out my wrath on them or my fierce anger. The whole world will be consumed by the fire of my jealous anger. Then I will purify the lips of the peoples, that all of them may call on the name of the Lord, and serve him shoulder to shoulder from beyond the rivers of Cush. My worship my scatter the people will bring me offerings. On that day, you, Jerusalem, will not be put to shame for all the wrongs you have done to me, because I will remove from you your arrogant boasters. Never again will you be haughty on my holy hill, but I will live within you, the meek and humble, the remnant of Israel will trust in the name of the Lord. They will do no wrong, they will tell no lies. Deceitful tongue will not be found in their mouths. They will eat and lie down, and no one will make them afraid. Sing, daughter Shion, shout aloud, Israel, be glad and rejoice with all your heart, daughter Jerusalem. The Lord has taken away your punishment. He has turned back your enemy. The Lord, the King of Israel, is with you. Never again will you fear any harm. On that day, they will say to Jerusalem, do not fear Shion, do not let your handles hang limp. The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love, he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. I will remove from you all who mourn over the loss of your appointed festivals, which is a burden and reproach for you. At that time I will deal with all who oppress you. I will rescue the lame. I will gather the exiles. I will give them praise and honor. Is every land where they have suffered shame. At that time I will gather you. At that time I will bring you home. I will give you honor and praise among all the peoples of the earth. When I restore your fortunes before your very eyes, says the Lord. 스바냐는 3장까지 있어서 모두 다 영문으로 읽어왔습니다. 그 다음에 학계입니다. 학계를 영문으로 읽어보겠습니다. In the second year of King Darius, on the first day of the sixth month, the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai to Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Yoshua, son of Yozadak, to high priest. This is what the Lord Almighty says. These people say the time has not yet come to rebuild the Lord's house. Then the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai. It's a time for you yourselves to be living in your paneled houses while this house remains ruined. Now this is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. You have planted much, but harvested little. You eat, but never have enough. You drink, but never have your fill. You put on clothes, but not warm. You on wages, only to put them in a purse with holes in it. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. Go up into the mountains and bring down timber and build my house, so that I may take pleasure in it and be honored, says the Lord. You expected much, but see it turned out to be little. What you brought home I blew away. Why? Declares the Lord Almighty, because of my house, which remains ruined, while each of you is busy with your own house. Therefore, because of you, the heavens have withheld their dew, and the earth is closed. I called for drought on the fields and the mountains, on the grain, the new wine, the olive oil, and everything else the ground produces on people and livestock, and on all the labor of your hands. Then Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, Yoshua, son of Yozadak, the high priest, and the whole remnant of the people obeyed the voice of the Lord their God and the message of the prophet Haggai, because the Lord their God had sent him, and the people appeared the Lord. Then Haggai, the Lord's messenger, gave this message of the Lord to the people. I am with you, declares the Lord. So the Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, son of Yozadak, the high priest, and the spirit of the whole remnant of the people. They came and began to work on the house of the Lord Almighty, the Lord God, on the 24th day of the sixth month, in the second year of King Darius, on the 21st day of the seventh month, the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai, speak to Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, to Joshua, son of Yozadak, the high priest, and to the remnant of the people. Ask them, who of you is left who saw this house in its former glory? How does it look to you now? Does it not seem to you like nothing? But now be strong. Zerubbabel declares the Lord, be strong, Joshua, son of Jozadak, the high priest, be strong, or you people of the land, declares the Lord, and work, for I am with you, declares the Lord Almighty. This is what I covenant with you when you came out of Egypt, and my spirit remains among you. Do not fear. This is what the Lord Almighty says. In a little while I will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. I will shake all nations, and what is this desire by all nations will come, and I will fill this house with glory, says the Lord Almighty. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, declares the Lord Almighty. The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, says the Lord Almighty. And in this place I will grant peace, declares the Lord Almighty. On the 24th day of the ninth month, in the second year of Darius, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Haggai. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Ask the priest what the law says. If someone carries consecrated meat in the fold of their garment, and then for the touches some bread or stew, some wine or live oil or other food, does it become consecrated? The priest answered, no. Then Haggai said, if a person defiled by contact with a dead body touches on one of these things, does it become defiled? Yes, the priest replied, it becomes defiled. Then Haggai said, so it is with this people and this nation in my sight, declares the Lord. Whatever they do and whatever they offer, there is defiled. No, give careful thought to discipline this day on. Consider how things were before one stone was laid on another in the Lord's temple. When anyone came to a heap of 20 measures, there were only then when anyone went to wine wet to drew 50 measures, there were only 20. I struck all the work of your hands with bright mildew and hail, yet you did not return to me, declares the Lord. From this day on, from this 24th day of the ninth month, give careful thought to the day when the foundation of the Lord's temple was laid. Give careful thought. Is there yet and seed left in the barn until now the vine and the fig tree, the pomegranate and the olive tree have not borne fruit. From this day on I will bless you. The word of the Lord came to Haggai a second time on the 24th day of the month. Tell Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, that I am going to shake the heavens and the earth. I will overturn royal thrones and shelter the power of the foreign kingdoms. I will overthrow chariots and their drivers, horses, and their riders will fall each by the sword of his brother. On that day, declares the Lord Almighty, I will take you, my servant, Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, declares the Lord, and I will make you like my signet ring, for I have chosen you, declares the Lord Almighty. 학계를 모두 다 읽어보았습니다. 다음은 스가랴입니다. 스가랴를 영문으로 읽어보겠습니다. In the eighth month of the second year of Darius, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Zechariah, son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo. The Lord was very angry with your ancestors. Therefore tell the people, this is what the Lord Almighty says. Return to me, declares the Lord Almighty, and I will return to you, says the Lord Almighty. Do not be like your ancestors, to whom the earlier prophets proclaimed, this is what the Lord Almighty says, turn from your evil ways and your evil practices. But they would not listen or pay attention to me, declares the Lord. Where are your ancestors now? And the prophets, do they live forever? But did not my orders and my declares, which I commanded my servants, the prophets, overtake your ancestors. Then they repented and said, the Lord Almighty has done to us what our ways and practices deserve, just as He determined to do. On the 24th day of the 11th month, the month of Sheba, in the second year of Darius, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Zechariah, son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo. During the night I had a vision, and there before me was a man mounted on a red horse. He was standing among the myrtle trees in a ravine. Behind him were led brown and white horses. I asked, what are these, my lord? The angel wheel was talking with me. Answered, I will show you what they are. Then the man standing among the myrtle trees explained, they are the ones the Lord has sent to go throughout the earth, and they reported to the anger of the Lord, who was standing among the myrtle trees. We have gone throughout the earth and found the whole world at the rest and in peace. Then the angel of Then the angel of the Lord said, Lord Almighty, how long will you withhold mercy from Jerusalem and from the towns of Judah, which you have been angry with these 70 years? So the Lord spoke kind and comforting words to the angel who talked with me. Then the angel who was speaking to me said, proclaim this word. This is what the Lord Almighty says. I am very jealous for Jerusalem and Shion, and I am very angry with the nations that feel secure. I was only a little angry, but they went too far with the punishment. Therefore, this is what the Lord says: I return to Jerusalem with mercy, and there my house will be rebuilt, and then the measuring line will be stretched out over Jerusalem, declares the Lord Almighty. Proclaim for sure, this is what the Lord Almighty says: my towns will again overflow with prosperity, and the Lord will again comfort Shion and choose Jerusalem. Then I looked up, and there before me were four horns. I asked the angel who was speaking to me, what are these? He answered me, these are the horns that scatter the Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Then the Lord showed me four craft man. I asked, what are these coming to do? He answered, these the horns that scatter the Judah so that no one could raise their head above the men have come to terrify them and throw down these horns of the nations who lifted up their horns against the land of Judah to scatter its people. Then I looked up, and there before me was a man with a measuring a line in his hand. I asked, where are you going? He answered me to measure Jerusalem to find out how wide and how long it is. While the angel who was speaking to me was leaving, another angel came to meet him and said to him, "Run, tell that young man, Jerusalem will be a city without walls because of the great number of people and animals in it, and I myself will be a wall of fire all around it, declares the Lord, and I will be its glory within. Come, free from the land of the north, declares the Lord, for I have scattered you to the four windows of heaven, declares the Lord. Come, see on, escape, you who live in daughter Babylon, for this is what the Lord Almighty says. After the glorious one has sent me against the nations that have plundered you, for whoever touches you touches the apple of his I will surely raise my hand against them, so that their slaves will plunder them. Then you will know that the Lord Almighty has sent me. Shout and be glad, daughter Zion, for I am coming, and I will live among you, declares the Lord. Many nations will be joined with the Lord in that day, and will become my people. I will live among you, and you will know that the Lord Almighty has sent me to you. The Lord will inherit Judah is his portion in the Holy Land, and will again choose Jerusalem. Be still before the Lord, all mankind, because he has roused himself from his holy dwelling. Then he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right side to accuse him. The Lord said to Satan, the Lord rebuke you, Satan, the Lord who has chosen Jerusalem rebuke you. Is not this man the burning stick snatched from the fire? Now Joshua was dressed in filthy clothes as he stood before the angel. The angel said to those who were standing before him, "Take off his filthy clothes." Then he said to Joshua, "See, I have taken away your sin, and I will put fine garments on you." Then I said, "Put a clean turban on his head." So they put a clean turban on his head and closed the him while the angel of the Lord stood by. The angel of the Lord gave this charge to Yeshua. This is what the Lord Almighty says. If you will work in obedience to me and keep my requirements, then you will govern my house and have a charge over my courts, and I will give you a place among these standing here. Listen, High Priest Yeshua, you and your associates seated before you, who are men symbolic of things to come. I am going to bring my servant, the branch, see the son I have set in front of Yeshua. There are seven eyes on that one stone, and I will engrave an inscription on it, says the Lord Almighty, and I will remove the sin of this land in a single day. In the day each of you will invite your neighbor to sit under your vine and the fig tree, declares the Lord Almighty. Then the angel who talked with me returned and woke me up like someone awakened from sleep. He asked me, "What do you see?" I answered, "I see a solid gold lampstand with a bowl at the top and seven lamps on it, with seven candles to the lamps. Also there are two olive trees by it, one on the right of the bowl and the other on its left." I asked the angel who talked with me, "What are these, my Lord?" He answered, "Do you not know what these are?" "No, my Lord," I replied. So he said to me, "This is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel, not by might nor by power, but but by my spirit, says the Lord Almighty. What are you, mighty mountain, before Zerubbabel, you will become rebel. Ground. Then he will bring out the capstone to shout of God bless it. God bless it. Then the word of the Lord came to me. The handles of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this temple. His handles will also complete it. Then you will know that the Lord Almighty has sent me to you, who dares despise the day of small things, since the 70-year eyes of the Lord that reign throughout the earth will rejoice when they see the chosen stone in the hand of Zerubbabel. Then I asked the angel, "What are these who arrive trees on the right and the left of the lampstand?" Again, I asked him, "What are these two olive branches beside the two gold pipes that pour out golden oil?" He replied, Do you not know what these are? No, my lord, I said. So I said, These are the two who are anointed to serve the Lord of all the earth. I looked again, and there before me was a flying scroll. He asked me, What do you see? I answered, I see a flying scroll, 20 cubits long and 10 cubits wide. And he said to me, This is the course that is going out over the whole land. For according to what it says on one side, every sheep will be banished, and according to what it says on the other, everyone who swears falsely will be banished. The Lord Almighty declares, I will send it out, and it will enter the house of the sheep and the house of anyone who swears falsely by my name. It will remain in that house and destroy it completely, both its timbers and its stones. Then the angel who was speaking to me came forward and said to me, Look up and see what is appearing. I asked, What is it? He replied, It is a basket. And he added, This is the inequality of the people throughout the land. Then the cover of lid was raised, and there in the basket sat a woman. He said, This is wickedness, and he pushed her back into the basket and pushed its lid cover down on it. Then I looked up, and there before me were two women with the wind in their wings. They had wings like those of a stork, and they lifted up the basket between heaven and earth. Where are they taking the basket? I asked the angel who was speaking to me. He replied, To the country of Babylonia, to build a house for it. When the house is ready, the basket will be set there in its place. I looked up again, and there before me were four chariots coming out from between two mountains of bronze. The first chariot had red horses, the second blood, the third wine, and the fourth dappled, all of them powerful. I asked the angel who was speaking to me, Or this my Lord? The angel answered me, These are the four spirits of heaven going out from standing in the presence of the Lord of the whole world. The one with the black horses is going toward the north country. The one with the white horses toward the west, and the one with the dapper the horses toward the south. When the powerful horses went out, they were straining to go through the earth, and he said, Go through the earth. So they went throughout the earth. Then he called to me, Look, those going toward the north country have given my spirit rest in the land of the north. The word of the road came to me. Take silver and gold from the exiles. Hell they Tobiah and Yediah, who have arrived from Babylon, go the same day to the house of Yoshia, son of Zephaniah. Take the silver and the gold and make a crown and set it on the head of the high priest Joshua, son of Yozadak. Tell him, this is what the Lord Almighty says. Here is the man whose name is the branch, and he will branch out from his place and build the temple of the Lord. It is he who will build the temple of the Lord, and he will be clothed with majesty, and will sit and rule on his throne, and he will be a priest on his throne, and there will be harmony between the two. The crown will be given to Helde, Tobiah, Yediah, and Hen, son of ZEPHANIAH, as a memorial in the temple of the Lord. Those who are far away will come and help to build the temple of the Lord, and you will know that the Lord Almighty has sent me to you. This will happen if you diligently obey the Lord your God. In the fourth year of King Darius, the word of the Lord came to Zechariah, son, on the fourth day of the ninth month, the month of Kislev. The people of Bethel had sent Selezer and Regem Helek, together with their men, to entreated the Lord by asking the priest of the house of the Lord Almighty and the prophets, should I mourn and fast in the people's months, as I have done for so many years? Then the word of the Lord Almighty came to me. Ask all the people of the land and the priests, when you fasted and mourned in the people's and seventh month, for the past 17 years, was it really for me that you fasted, and when you were eating and drinking, were you not just feasting for yourselves? These are not the words the Lord proclaimed through the earlier prophets, when Jerusalem and its surrounding towns were at rest, and prosperous, and the Negev and the western foothills were settled. And the word of the Lord came again to Zechariah. This is what the Lord Almighty said: administer through justice, show mercy and compassion to one another. Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the foreigner, or the poor. Do not plot evil against each other, but they refuse to pay attention. So the stubbornly they turned their backs and covered their ears. They made their hearts as hard as a flint and would not listen to the law or to the orders that the Lord Almighty had sent by His Spirit through the earlier prophets. So the Lord Almighty was very angry when I called. They didn't listen. So when they called, I would not listen, says the Lord Almighty. I scattered them with his whirlwind among all the nations. We are strangers. The land they left behind them was so desolated that no one traveled through it. This is how they made the present land desolate. The word of the Lord Almighty came to me. This is what the Lord Almighty says. I am very jealous for Shion. I am burning with jealousy for her. This is what the Lord says. I will return to Shion and dwell in Jerusalem. Then Jerusalem will be called the peaceful city, and the mountain of the Lord Almighty will be called the holy mountain. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Once again, man and woman of ripe old age will sit in the streets of Jerusalem, each of them with a cane in hand because of their age. The city streets will be filled with boys and girls playing there. This is what the Lord Almighty says. It may seem marvelous to the remnant of these people at that time, but will it seem marvelous to me, declares the Lord Almighty. This is what the Lord Almighty says. I will save my people from the countries of the east and the west. I will bring them back to live in Jerusalem. They will be my people, and I will be peaceful and righteous to them as their God. And this is what the Lord Almighty says. Now hear these words. Let your hands be strong so that the temple may be built. This is also what the prophets said. Who will present when the foundation was laid for the house of the Lord Almighty. Before that time, there were no wages for people or hire for animals. No one could go about their business safely because of their enemies. Since I had turned everyone against our neighbor, but now I will not deal with the remnant of these people as I did in the past, declares the Lord Almighty. The seed will grow well, the vine will yield its fruit, the ground will produce its crops, and the heavens will drop their dew. I will give all these things as an inheritance to the remnant of these people, just as Judah and Israel have been a curse among the nations. So I will save you, and you will be blessing. Do not be afraid, but let your hands be strong. This is what the Lord Almighty says, just as I had determined to bring disaster on you and showed no pity when your ancestors angered me, says the Lord Almighty. So now I have determined to do good again to Jerusalem and Judah. Do not be afraid. These are the things you are to do. Speak the truth to each other and render true and sound judgment in your court. Do not plot evil against each other and do not love to swear falsely. I hate all this, declares the Lord. The word of the Lord Almighty came to me. This is what the Lord Almighty says. The best of the fourth, fifth, seventh, and 10th months will become joyful and glad occasions and happy festivals for Judah. Therefore, love, truth, and peace. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Many peoples and the inhabitants of many cities will yet come, and the inhabitants of one city will go to another and say, let us go at once to entreat the Lord and seek the Lord Almighty. I myself am going, and many peoples and powerful nations will come to Jerusalem to seek the Lord Almighty and to entreat Him. This is what the Lord Almighty says. In those days, 10 people from all languages and nations will take from a hold of one Jew by the hem of his robe and say, let us go with you, because we have heard that God is with you. Prophecy, the word of the Lord is against the land of Hadak, and will come to rest on Damascus. For the eyes of all people and all the tribes of Israel are on the road and on Hamas too. Its borders on it and on Tyre and Sidon, though they are very skillful. Tyre has built herself a stronghold. She has heaped up silver like dust and gold like the dirt of the streets, but the Lord will take away her possessions and destroy her power on the sea, and the sea she will be consumed by fire. Eshkelon will see it and fear. Gaza will rise in agony, and Ekron too, for her hope will wither. Gaza will lose her king, and Ashkelon will be deserted. Mongrel people will occupy Ashdod, and I will put an end to the pride of the Philistines. I will take the blood from their mouths, the forbidden food from between their teeth. Those who are left will bring to our God and become a clan in Judah, and Ekron will be like the Jebusites. But I will encamp at my temple to guard it against marauding forces. Never again will an oppressor overrun my people, for now I am keeping watch. 스가랴 9장 8절까지 읽어보았습니다. 성경공부 552의 방송을 여기서 종료하도록 하겠습니다. 주기도문 기도하고 방송을 끝내겠습니다. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is in the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. 성경공부 552방송을 시청해 주신 분께 감사드리겠습니다. 안녕히 계십시오.